We're back at the BBC Good Food Show in Birmingham for the World Cheese Awards. 2,785 cheeses from over 30 different countries. The judges, 254 of them. We've flown them in from all over the world of cheese. It's all about cheese. There's no yogurt, there's no milk, there's no cream, purely cheese. I'm also very excited because I'd like you to meet my co-host. And this is Charlie Turnbull, cheese specialist, cheese retailer, and for nigh on a decade a judge at the World Cheese Awards. Later on, he's going to be a member of a supreme judging panel to find out the #1 cheese in the world.
And very exciting is going to be too. Good morning, Nigel. We're surrounded by some of the people I've been working with for 10 years on some of the greatest cheeses, and this is Christmas Day for me. The things that we're going to taste today are going to be fantastic. So I think we should make a start and go and see some cheeses. Nigel, look at this. I have honestly no idea what this cheese is. It's so cool. Look, they've got this patterning down the bottom. It's got a shape it reeks of history, doesn't it? This has been around a while.
This could be a Doctor Who alien, or it could be a very funky discus.
This isn't the World Cheese Awards. This is the Antiques Roadshow.
But it's absolutely glorious.
Wait, we're going to have a sneaky taste. You up for this?
Yes.
Now looking at it, we've got a white colour, so I'm thinking this is not a cow's milk cheese, probably goats or sheep, probably goats. Slightly translucent, so we're talking about 12 months. Let's have a taste. A lot of these cheeses have histories in monasteries, and this does look very vaguely ecclesiastical, isn't it? Usually means that goes well with beer.
John Farron, who's put it all together, organising the World Cheese Awards, but what about the logistics of getting so many cheeses here?
Look at that, 3,000 cheeses. Getting the cheeses here is a real old task. We've got 10 consolidation points around the globe, from Australia to South Africa to the USA, most of Europe. People are busy gathering up the cheeses from the great cheese producers that we've got. They put them on trucks, on planes, on trains, and they scoot their way into the UK for these fine fellows to do their judging.
What a stellar lineup, more cheese than ever, more judges than ever.
Fantastic day. So many cheeses to taste, and it's interesting trying to decide which order you taste them in because there are so many different types. It's an interesting cheese, this one, and it was one of the first that we tasted. It's a buttery cheese, it's rounded, it's creamy, it has a lasting flavour, it's not too salty. Really good example of its kind.
Yeah, and well done, and you've given it a gold, so
yes.
It's going to go on.
It's
fantastic.
very good.
And look at this, the World Cheese app.
What makes a good idiapa bar?
It's a ewe cheese, hard ewe cheese, and as I said, it's a very, very natural produce, but of very high quality. This is typically the Savoy cheese, so the rind is kind of hard, consistent, but then inside is velvety, creamy, very sharp taste. Very little acidity with rennet.
Why is this a gold medal winner?
Firstly, the appearance is what it's meant to be. You can see in it, look very closely, all the openness in the curd structure, and it's the way it's been pressed. It's not a dense, close cheese. It's meant to have some openness in it. Second part was the texture. The texture is crumbly because it's a crumbly cheese, but it's also slightly creamy to the touch as well.
It's not the most perfect. It's got a bit of whey leakage as well. But you're telling me this is the best cheese on your table?
That is. You taste that. That's an awesome cheese. Absolutely awesome.
What did you like about it? What am I looking forward to here?
What I was expecting was intensely blue, quite strong flavours. What you get is sweet and rounded and really, really pleasant.
That's gorgeous.
It's not the blue acid strong head that you expect from that.
Quite the opposite. It's almost like a digestive biscuit. It's really easy to eat. So what are you doing? Are you enjoying what you're seeing around the tables?
Yeah, it's great. I'm lucky. I've got a table with a whole variety of different cheeses, and there's some fantastic cheeses, and there's some cheeses with fruit in them.
Washed rind, lovely texture, and just that little touch of the smoked paprika going through the middle.
Good. And cooking with cheeses as well, never mind just nibbling them. I mean, that's something your forte.
It's interesting actually doing these because some of these cheeses I'm tasting and going, I just want to eat that cheese on its own. Other ones I'm tasting and the first thing that pops into my head is what I could use it for in the cooking.
We have 54 judging teams, each with approximately 50 cheeses in front of them, normally made up of 5 or 6 different cheese types. They're not judging in classes. We don't look for a best in class. They're actually judging each cheese on its merits. The judges award as many gold, silver or bronzes as they feel are deserving, and we then ask them to deliberate, debate, and sometimes even argue before awarding one Super Gold from their table.
It was a little difficult because I had another choice also, but we have to compete with my other friends. And we chose this one because he has very much flavor. The texture is okay. You see when you feel this, and it stays right there, and then you taste. It's full in the mouth, really good. I taste flowers and grasses, you know, and the fat, and the cheese is also right.
One set of judges were unable to differentiate between two magnificent cheeses, so they've both gone through as Super Golds. Quite right too. Why have you awarded this one gold?
Oh, it's very complex. There's so much going on with it. If you just give it a sniff there, it's just like a beautiful alpine meadow, just full of flowers. You can just picture the cows grazing, and you can't imagine all the flavor going on with this cheese. It's very pleasant.
This is so interesting, you know, it's a great opportunity to be here because, you know, you get to know a lot of cheeses which you never have a chance to taste, you know, in your country. And it's very interesting also to get in touch with people with such a high profile in the cheese business.
That's a great thing that, you know, people are willing to send cheeses to a small little island like Britain so we can just taste them and it actually counts for something. So that is amazing.
This cheese comes from French Ossau, which is about 20-30 minutes from Cape Town, and they have just introduced cheese making. It's probably not been there more than 15-20 years, and they are now getting some excellent artisan cheeses coming out of that area. And they're even using wash rind techniques, things that are, you know, quite cutting edge for over here, and they're introducing the technology straight into them. Fantastic cheese. Loving to see the Africans here today.
This is a really interesting cheese. It's from Australia. It's organic labna. It's a yogurt-based cheese, and in the olive oil here that it's stored in, it's got sea salt and fennel. Really interesting cheese. That would brighten up any dull cheese board. Yum scrum.
This is a pesky Sierra or Sur. My Serbo-Croat is not very good. Comes from Croatia, made on the islands of the Croatian coast there, and has been seen in the UK for about a year and a half now. It's a fantastic cheese. Comes in all sorts of ages. We are seeing this level of quality from the Eastern European states all the time now. Really interesting to see it here in Birmingham today.
Wow, look at this for a beautiful cheese. This is a hard goat's cheese. It's made by a Kenyan-born cheesemaker called Belle Shun, and she now lives just outside Johannesburg, and it's almost a shame to cut into it. It's so beautiful, is it? She's done a pretty good job there. Nice and tangy, nice bit of moisture, and very Moorish. I'd certainly come back and have a couple more pieces of this. Wow, and it looks ace. Charlie, look at these. These are our Super Golds.
I know, it's so exciting. We've got Cheshire, we've got Iraty, we've got Gorgonzola Dolce there. We've got cheeses from all over the world. We've got 55 at the moment. In about half an hour, they'll be whittled down to 15 when the Supreme Panel will start looking for the best cheese in the world this year. We're coming to the moment right now.
Well-balanced cheddar finish to it. I agree with it. That's a good piece of cheese. It never loses its cheese flavor, but it's got so much complexity to it as well.
It's a lovely looking cheese. You could sell this. This is good.
That is lovely.
We have outstanding cheeses here from all over the world and very exciting cheeses. But every now and then you come across a cheddar. And the cheddar has been with us for 500 years. And then you find this outstanding cheddar and you are so impressed by the flavor.
I'm going to make things easier and I'm going to put my name on that one.
On this Manchego?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay.
So we've chosen our final 16. One of those is going to be the Supreme Champion. You have selected one as well, Charlie, and you're in the final judging panel.
I am. Better go. Thank you very much, Nigel. I'll see you later.
Good luck, my friend. There were 2,785. They whittled down to 55, and now it's 16. One of those 16 is going to be the Supreme Champion, World Cheese Awards 2012. We have to find out who. We've got the cream of the judging cheese world, cheese makers, cheese retailers, food and drink journalists. They're all here. We're very lucky to have such great palates. Lucky us. Let's get on with it.
It's clarity, it's sweetness, it's like a running river. It's really fresh flavoured.
This is an amazing bloomy rind cheese, very creamy, very soft. The fat content is, right.
What is very good about this cheese is the texture. It's dense, it's firm, but then when you eat it, you may be waiting to get something more chunky, but it's actually quite creamy and it has a clean finish.
With these Alpine-style cheeses, it's no secret that they do well at competitions like this because they're sweet, they're come-hithery, and they're savory. And I think this cheese has great balance between the milk and the rind. And in this cheese, you can see the contribution of the animal, the cheesemaker, and the affineur.
Wow, this is another winner. It's so well balanced between like the nutty taste, like the little herb. Then I found something like a celery taste sometimes in the Gruyere, and this is just light.
I find it outstanding in the category of the soft cheeses. It has a lot of personality and at the same time a balance.
I think it's a sharp and strong cheese, but texture is very consistent at the same time. I think it's toasted and very aromatic cheese, and I think it's very well balanced from all angles.
It's very rich, it's robust, very creamy. It's got a wonderful dimension in that it has a slightly musty aftertaste, which I really love.
It worked well together. The flavors came on when you wanted. It wasn't jumbled. Everything moved through your mouth correctly, and it finished very cleanly.
Carlos selected a slightly younger cheese. I'm older and selected a similar but older product with a bit more flavour, a bit better balanced, and I think it's a lovely ewe's milk cheese. It's got a beautiful balanced flavour and it does linger on the mouth. I think it's a superb cheese.
It's very well matured, so it has developed a lot of fruity flavors, and when you have it in your mouth and you swirl it around, it's completely mouth coating and the flavor lingers.
Got a rich flavour, a really deft balance to it, and it's kind of fruity. I mean, it's got a little bit of acid, a little bit of fruit to it that's really, really delicious.
It's the kind of cheese that cheesemongers love, because people can eat a lot of it and they will come back for this cheese. I think it needs a good score. It's more than what Charles says. It's not just a good cheese. It's a very good cheese.
But this was a pretty cheese. You'll have to take my word for it. But it was also a great balance of yin and yang, salt, and sweetness, particularly fruit.
Blue cheese in a farm, small farm. Very, very easy for smell, for eat. With white wine, it's perfect.
All of us have tried at least 100 cheeses today, and I was looking for something different, something that stood out. It stood out because the way it was wrapped in leaves, it stood out because it was really, really moist, and it stood out because the flavour of it had something very different to what I was expecting.
109 points for cheese number 510366, and 109 points for cheese 55059. Now this is unique. We've never had one of these. It's quite something. We're going to have to taste those two top cheeses again, and we have a show of hands, okay? Because there are 15 of you, so we can't have a draw.
Come on, Arwen, just remind us why you thought this was such a great cheese.
It's just a wonderful cheese. It is a sheep's milk cheese. It's got a beautiful balance of flavour. And it's, yes, it really is a wonderful cheese. It's got a wow factor.
The blue is a farmer blue. And in your future, it's very important. For this farmer, it's a world champion. And c'est mon cœur qui parle. Merci, my heart.
If you think the non-blue should be the 2012 world champion, please raise your hand now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There you go. What a remarkable day, John Farrand.
Absolutely, Nigel. I mean, who'd have thought it? All those cheeses, and we came down to 16, and then we had a dead heat.
Dead heat, a tie between these two incredible cheeses. So our judges had to show of hands, and the winner was this Manchego. Excellent, beautiful looking cheese as well. Gran Reserva Dehesa de Los Llanos. Fantastic cheese, but very unusually, this Blue di Bufala. It's a blue cheese, but it's made from buffalo milk, and it's Azienda Agricola Gritti, so it's an Italian artisan cheesemaker, which just typifies how lucky we are to have these remarkable cheeses from all over the world. And I, for one, cannot wait for the World Cheese Awards 2013.
Wherever that may be.